why IUL is the missing structure between strivers and thrivers. And the mega wealthy thrivers understand when it's wise to pay interest in order to make more interest. Well, Wall Street was never designed to give you a predictable income or payouts in retirement. If you ever ask Wall Street when's the best time to sell my stocks or my mutual fund shares, they'll say never. These people enjoy $1 million a year of tax-free income compared to these people that are experiencing, if they're lucky, $100,000. That's 10 times more money. I'm going to show you why max-funded indexed universal life is the missing structure between the 95% of Americans who are in captivity. They will outlive their money, and the top 5% that arrive at the land of peace and abundance and will never outlive their money. Get ready. So I'm Doug Andrew. I've been a financial strategist and retirement planning specialist now for 5 decades, helping thousands of Americans optimize their assets, minimize taxes, and empower what I call their authentic wealth. And a lot of times people say, Doug, will you just simply tell us what you do? Why is it that you tout this max-funded indexed universal life so much? I go, well, it's the missing structure between the strivers in America and the thrivers. So let's go through and talk about what I mean by these categories of people. One definition of these 3 kinds of people, strivers, arrivers, and thrivers. Strivers spend money in the moment, okay? When they get money, they immediately, it burns a hole in their pocket or their purse, and they go out and they will spend it on some lavish thing in the moment. They don't have long-term goals in their head, okay? Arrivers, they have, they're future-focused, and they learn to live on less than what they earn, and then they sock away the difference. And sometimes people sock away 5% of their income, 10%, 20%. But the arrivers begin to do the math and understand what they need to do in order to save enough so that they can retire someday and not have to work. That money at work is better than man at work, okay? Now, the thrivers, they always make their future bigger than their past. They don't just hunker down in retirement and stop being in motion. They redefine themselves. They're always learning. They have a lifetime learning commitment, and they're always growing. And so those are my kind of people. I always want to make my future bigger than my past. What are some other ways to describe these 3 categories or kinds of people? Well, strivers often will borrow money to consume. They will go through an RV boat show and they don't have the money, but they see a jet ski or some ATVs or side-by-sides and they borrow money. You can see these equity lines of credit darting all over the lakes in the summertime in the form of boats and jet skis where they're borrowing money for depreciating assets, okay? So they borrow money to consume. Arrivers, they understand the 3 marvels or miracles of wealth accumulation. What are they? Compound interest, number 1. Number 2, tax-free accumulation of money or compounding. And that's number 2. Number 3 is safe positive leverage. What's that? That's the ability to own and control assets with very little or none of your money tied up at risk in that asset, okay? It's how money works. It's what makes the world go round, okay? And so the problem is arrivers do it as a one-off. They do it one time. They own one rental property. They own one laser fund, okay? So the difference between arrivers and thrivers is thrivers repeat the process. They go, well, if it works on one rental property, then it'll work on 10 and 20 and 30. So they repeat the process. They have several laser funds, and some of my mega wealthy clients have 10, 15, 17 laser funds, okay? And so they repeat the process and they borrow money, OPM, other people's money, to conserve, not to consume. They become their own banker. So let's go to a third definition. Strivers pay interest. They're constantly paying interest, okay? Arrivers, they earn interest. Sometimes people say, well, those are the 2 kinds of people in the world. And I go, no, there's a third kind of person. The mega wealthy thrivers understand when it's wise to pay interest in order to make more interest. This is what makes the world go round. This is banks, credit unions, insurance companies. If they stopped paying interest, they would wither up and die. They pay interest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% on you saving money in their institution. They don't put it in a vault. They loan it back out again or invest it, and they make 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%. That they make a spread. And they make tons of money, and it's not on their money, it's on OPM, other people's money, okay? So they pay interest in order to make more interest than what the cost of the funds are. Just like if I hired an employee, I want to make more than the employee is costing me. If you're not making your employer more than you're costing them, your days are numbered, let me tell you. I buy a widget machine because I want to make 100% up to 500% more than the cost of the machine, okay? So that's what I'm talking about here. It's worth investing in a widget machine or an employee. Even though it's a cost, it's not really a cost, it's an investment. Is that making sense? So when people look at my situation where I've been a financial strategist now for 5 decades, they will often say, well, Doug, what's your key market here? Well, strivers have too much month left at the end of their money. They never do learn how to save. It's not my ideal client because they're not disciplined. I would rather have them go through and learn how to live on less than what they earn by giving them videos to watch or whatever and see if they can, learn discipline. Arrivers begin to qualify to be the best clients because they are living on less than what they earn. They have money they can sock away. Now, thrivers are where I want all my clients to become, where they repeat the process and they become mega wealthy, as I'm going to show you here. Now, survivors, those are oftentimes people who are about to retire. And so many people, they hunker down and they stop doing what made their wealth. And they just hunker down. They just want to survive. They just don't want to outlive their money. And they end up outliving their money due to the negative impact of taxes, inflation, and market volatility. And so we like to catch the survivors and get them back to thriving again instead of just hunkering down and hoping they can just hang on. Because if they don't, they're going to dive. So this is like a bell curve. This is where we want to help you. So there's a missing structure between here and these people. So whenever I would diagram this, unfortunately, 95% of Americans are following traditional financial planning, putting money in tax-deferred IRAs or 401ks invested in the market. Well, Wall Street was never designed to give you a predictable income or payouts in retirement. If you ever ask Wall Street when's the best time to sell my stocks or my mutual fund shares, they'll say never. Say they weren't designed to give you a predictable income. And you're going to have to pay tax on it, what have you. So this is why most Americans who are following traditional advice are in captivity. And sometimes they don't find that out until they retire and they're not in the lowest tax bracket. They're in as higher tax bracket as they've ever been. And they will outlive their money due to taxes and inflation and market volatility. They're going to be lucky to have $100,000 of income a year. And unfortunately, that $100,000 will only buy about $50,000 bought 5 years earlier because of inflation. So they're in captivity, okay? Now, the mega wealthy thrivers, they're up here. The arrivers are in the middle. They're learning how to do this. But the thrivers, they arrive at what I call the land of peace and abundance. They're in the top 5% of Americans, and they will be able to accumulate a nest egg. With the same money these people save, they're going to be able to have to enjoy $1 million a year of income. Yep. I have helped many, many people without increasing their outlay one dime end up with double, triple, even 5 times the income in 10 years. But if you learn these concepts over a 30 or 40 year period, it'll be 10 times the income. These people enjoy $1 million a year of tax-free income compared to these people that are experiencing, if they're lucky, $100,000. That's 10 times more money. They have tremendous freedom. So what's the missing structure between these people and these people, the captivity and the freedom? Well, it's really understanding how money works, and it's what I call the laser fund, and I wrote a book about it. This is my 11th book. It's been flying off of our warehouse shelves. It retails for $20 on Amazon, but I'll gift you a free copy here in just a moment, so stay with me. But this is 300 pages jam-packed with information. This side is about 14 chapters, 200 pages with all kinds of charts and graphs and explanations of how you can optimize assets and minimize taxes. If you learn more by stories, you flip it over and read this side. This has about 100 pages, 12 chapters with 62, like chicken soup for the financial soul stories. Now, once you study the book, then you're ready because you're going to be enlightened. So the missing structure gets completed with an 8-step, very predictable process. What is this process? If you choose to engage with those professionals that I point my students to and those who study the book, this is the process. The enlightenment experience is getting it. And so you get it by studying. Now, when you go to claim your free copy, as I'll show you here, if you like to listen and learn or watch and learn, you can get enlightened with any way you like to learn. But once you do, then you meet with an IUL professional so that then you can have a true wealth discovery. You can assess your assets and how you can increase the liquidity, safety, rate of return, and the tax advantages, and see how much better off you can be 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road without increasing your outlay one dime. And then if that's not enough to hit your goals, then the specialist will show you how much more you need to set aside or at what age you need to put off retirement to achieve the goal of a thriver. So you go through that, and a strategic design is created for you, and then a success formula is tailor-made to you. Then you go through the refinement process, and you arrive at your blueprint that has tons of flexibility. Then you go through an implementation experience and reposition assets and set up some laser funds. And then you have annual reviews to keep you on track because life is full of curved balls. This 8-step process, in conjunction with the strategies in this book, will help you move from striver to arriver to thriver. It is the missing structure between captivity and freedom. And so here's what you need to do. Simply go to laserfund.com or click on the link below. Contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling of this book. And when you do that, I'll pay for the book and I'll fire out a hard copy to you via priority mail.